right. Cool. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. I'll wait a little bit for people to join in the webinar. Okay. Cool, looks like we have a good amount of people joined today. Thank you for coming. Good afternoon, and this is the Accelerate Sustainability Workshop Showcase. As you're joining, you can put your name and organization in the chat to help us get an idea of who's here today. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Lorenza, and I manage Sustain Dane's workshops, and I use she, her pronouns. Gonna take a look at the chat and see if anyone's saying hi. Hi, Rochelle, Artisan Dental, that's an Empower alum. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Wayne Miller from TDS, another Empower alum. Great, thank you, everybody. Cool. So the plan for today is to go through a quick overview of the Accelerate Sustainability Workshop, and then you'll get a chance to hear from some of our participants about their sustainability success stories from the past year or so. And we hope that sharing these stories today inspires you to begin or continue your own sustainability work. And stay tuned, because up next, to close the day, to close the whole summit, we'll have our Live Forward Awards at 3 p.m. And this session will end a little bit before 3, so we can accommodate the start of the Live Forward Awards. So for some context on what we're talking about here, in 2019, Sustain Dane participated in something called the Starting Block Social Impact Initiative to redesign our programs, including the Empower Champions program, which ran for 10 years and inspired over 570 sustainability projects at local Dane County organizations. And the Accelerate Sustainability Workshop was born out of that redesign and is building on the success of the Empower program. Response to the redesign so far has been overwhelmingly positive, and I'm really excited to keep increasing our impact in 2021. Before we go any further, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors and supporting members here at Sustain Dane. They make these programs, our summit, and the community we support, they make that all possible. So thank you. And we have UW Credit Union, one of our supporters, here today to speak about their sustainability work and their experience in the 2011 and 2017 Empower cohorts. With that, I'll hand it off to Cheryl Weisensell, Facilities Director at UW Credit Union, to say a few words. Cheryl, are you there?
I am. Thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. Thanks everyone for letting me come in here and just talk a little bit about our Empower times that we did participate. The first time was in 2011 with Sustain Dane. It was a great way to start a sustainability effort. I was actually new to the organization, and we have gone so far from that time in our sustainability savings and passion and all the things that we have accomplished. When we did start in 2011, we started out with 6 projects, and at that time, we were all kinds of great ideas, and it was an early time for looking at sustainability at our organization. And because of the Empower Champion program, we were able to really jumpstart a lot of what we have now been, I'm going to say, just taking for granted as part of our sustainability efforts and planning and budgeting. One of the projects, just to touch on, was peak demands, and this was something as a Empower Champion was one of the first sessions that you learned to do, and that is tracking that peak demand, the customer peak demand on your energy bills and the electric bills. And we were told that you could save $10 a day by reducing it by a point. And with this effort, and we continue to track it, we've been able to save over $150,000 of energy use that we would have been paying for just because of our customer peak demand and the reductions that we made. It's really an inspiring story. But then in 2017, we decided to try it again. And this time we did take our efforts a little bit differently to really promote who we are and what, I'm going to say we have achieved. And one of that was to do the Green Masters recognition with the Wisconsin Sustainable Business Network program. And we did achieve that award and have continued to achieve that each year since, which has been a great undertaking and something we started because of the Empower. But then we also started our Adopt a Highway, which we have a mile section along Highway M on the north side of Madison. And, just giving back to the community all the way through and basically nurturing our culture of sustainability and supporting it through our social missions. So it's been a great way to keep us, I'm going to say, start us out and keep us going through the Empower program. We also, I just wanted to put a little plug in here, and I know some of you may have been involved with through the UW-Madison School of Business. They have a program called Ethical and Responsible Business Network that they thrive. The projects they do, they thrive on sustainability and taking things to the next level for resources. And we just completed our second one with this team. If anyone's ever interested in the information, I'd be happy to put it in the chat too. But if you're not quite sure or you want to have somebody take a look at it, Sustain Dane and a lot of the resources that they offer is great. But this was, I'm going to say, a younger, fresher look. And we just went through the presentation on Tuesday night, and I was really inspired by it. So thank you very much. And I'm really enjoying today's session. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Cheryl. And yeah, definitely put info on everything you mentioned in the chat for folks joining us. So great to hear and see how UW Credit Union's commitment to sustainability has spanned many years. So thank you. And before moving on to the Q&A portion of the day, I have a quick couple slides and a video to share to give us some more context about the workshop. So I'm going to share my screen. All right, can everybody see the slideshow? Give me a thumbs up. All right, thanks, Claire. Oop. Sorry about that. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. It glitched up a little on my side. I'll redo that. Thanks for bearing with me here. Okay. All right, there we go. Are the slides back? Thank you, thank you. Okay, so the workshop is a half-day professional development opportunity designed to help you start sustainability projects at your org. And it works well as a primer on sustainability for folks who are new to the subject, but can also refocus existing green teams. So the content that we present is grounded in current sustainability plans and research, and presents best practices and some local case studies and change-making strategies. So the goal is for participants to leave with an action plan or the start of an idea for a project that will inspire change at their org. And in 2020, we had 33 organizations and 42 attendees participate in the 3 workshops. And we saw many of the participants were new to or recently getting more serious about sustainability. So starting a green team and creating a sustainability plan were common projects this year. And the rest of the projects span a wide range of topics, from installing solar on buildings to improving energy efficiency, to composting initiatives, conducting a waste audit, and other waste stream projects like removing styrofoam. And even in light of all the challenges this year, I found that our participants' commitment to their sustainability work remained really strong. So thank you to all, and congratulations to all of our participants this year. And we were happy to hear that over 100% of our participants would recommend the workshop to a friend. And the first cohort for our 2021 workshops will meet virtually in a couple months in February. So reach out to me if you want to join us there. And if we all get a friend involved, the ripple effect of our impact grows. And if you know Sustain Dane, you know that is our mission. So consider reaching out to your network to invite someone that you think would be interested. All right, so now I've got a quick video. It's about 7 minutes, and it shows a little bit about the folks that we'll be talking with here today in the Q&A. So I'll get that started.
Being involved in Sustain Dane programs is important for our organization. It shows our team that we have a commitment to a more sustainable work environment. It also connects us with other community members who care about sustainability and allows us to network and learn from each other. We transitioned away from disposable cups to reusable cups on our patient floors. And I think this was the most exciting project because it was the most tangible. We could literally see the change on a daily basis. We've diverted some 45,000 styrofoam cups from the landfill since we started in June. We also stopped providing patients with disposable plastic pitchers, which were refilled with disposable plastic liners. We will also save roughly $3,000 a year from styrofoam cups alone. You know, it's nice to have those concrete numbers that we can share with staff. And, you know, thinking of 45,000 styrofoam cups, and we're a small facility, that is a very impactful visual, I think. I was really surprised with how smoothly it went. We did spend a lot of time prior to implementing it, working out all the foreseeable kinks, creating signage, providing education, and then piloting the program in one area of the hospital before rolling it out hospital-wide. We also ensured we had champions to help guide their coworkers and help ensure success. We have a engaged wellness team that meets regularly to discuss, plan, and implement projects. We keep each other inspired, and I would also just say the offerings from Sustain Dane have helped to keep us inspired as well. So we've appreciated that partnership.
We really signed up for this program, and myself specifically, because at Tribe 9 Foods, we're a certified B Corporation. Everyone realizes the importance of it and the value that it has, not only for our company, but our customers, our employees, our community. So if something's important to you, you'll make time for it. And that's what I've been so grateful for all the folks who are part of the team, is that they're making the time within their busy schedules to prioritize our sustainability efforts. And I mean, I really think it's kind of been our motto that any simple, small change is better than nothing. If we can just make positive changes a little bit here and there every day, like eventually over time with consistency, like that pays off.
We recently finalized our B Corp mural, which we will be hanging up around our facility and adding to our website. It displays highlights from the past year and our goals for the upcoming year regarding the different B Corp focus areas, including environment, community, employees, and customers. This mural will help hold us accountable to our goals while also helping employees and customers connect to our greater purpose.
Being involved with the workshop and with Sustain Dane for us has been a means to connect with a wider community within the lens of environmental sustainability. What that really provided us with was data about where we're falling short. And that was really helpful to be able to develop goals and benchmarks and to take a more strategic approach to improvement. We're definitely excited about is the opportunity to participate in the Renewable Energy Rider Project. Not only will it significantly shift our organization's carbon footprint, but it's just really cool to be counted among other participants such as the UW and the City of Madison. Why do we want to do this? For Willy Street Co-op, sustainability relates directly to our mission and to our ends. And we recognize our community as the overall stakeholders to our work, but also it presents an opportunity for financial efficiency as well in a number of cases. So it is really prudent to consider who is going to be involved and impacted by whatever sustainability goals you set, and how your organization will ensure that they are making meaningful progress.
We, through Sujata, participated in the Accelerated Sustainability Workshop to network with other people and learn about best management practices and how people are advancing in sustainability. It's nice to talk with others because everybody's at a different stage in their sustainability journey, and it's nice to bounce ideas off of people for certain projects and give advice, but at the same time get advice from those who are further along in their journey on different projects. As an organization, we have a long history of industry collaboration. We routinely send staff to conferences and workshops because inevitably it leads to new ideas and advancement.
We're charged by Emmi Group in Switzerland with reducing our water consumption by 15% by 2027. And we're on track to reach that goal a lot sooner, meaning that we can really go beyond it. And the water waste reduction project could only be accomplished by working together. And so the exciting thing about it for me was really that there was never a question of whether or not we were going to hit it. It was the how. So what we ended up doing is to form teams at each of our 3 Wisconsin plant locations who were experts in how to reduce and recycle, in some cases, the amount of water that we were using. The reason that we started focusing on this water initiative was to get more participation in our plants and to really boost morale and excitement around sustainability. When corporations started really thinking about the triple bottom line and people and profit and planet all becoming one, you know, I think that it shifted the way that we do business, and you can see that in Madison. You can see that the people here matter, shopping locally, buying locally, that all matters. And I think what that takes is a culture where our success as an individual is just as, but not more than important as everyone else's.
All right. Thanks for watching that with me. And now we'll move on to our Q&A portion of the session, which will take us to the end. So first, I want to thank, again, all my panelists for joining me today for this conversation. I think these types of conversations are really valuable for just inspiring our community to keep working towards sustainability and sharing best practices and ideas. No matter how small the idea, it could spark something huge, and collectively they all add up. So why don't we start I guess we've been introduced to you by the video, but if you want to go around and just quick give your name, say hey, and your organization, that would be great. Ben, can you go first?
Hi guys, this is Ben Becker from the Willy Street Co-op.
Great, thanks Ben. Nolan?
Hi everybody, I'm Nolan Billstrom and I work for Tribe 9 Foods, a food manufacturer here in Madison.
Ashley?
I'm Ashley Massard. I'm the Director of Food and Nutrition at Select Specialty Hospital.
And we also have Derek here from Select Specialty. Do you want to introduce yourself, Derek? Might be having trouble with audio, but how about Roxanne and John?
Go ahead, John.
Hi, John Welch. I am the director of the Dane County Department of Waste and Renewables.
And Roxanne Wink is Deputy Director of the Dane County Department of Waste and Renewables.
Thank you, great. And Emily?
Hey all, I'm Emily King. I am the Marketing Specialist and Sustainability Manager for Emmi Roth, which is a importer and manufacturer of specialty cheese.
Awesome. All right, now that we're all introduced, I'm just gonna ask you all to expand a little about your sustainability projects. So we'll start with Ben again, Willy Street Co-op. So Ben, can you tell me more about the waste reduction project that we heard a little bit about in the video?
Yeah, so the waste reduction project is kind of, I would say, probably our current focus as an organization in terms of addressing sustainability and as part of an overall sustainability strategy. So over about the past year, we decided to start creating more of a strategic plan, looking at how we're going to address sustainability, and which isn't to say we've done a number of things in the past. We've done projects in the past. We've even done waste and recycling in the past and tried to improve that. But by kind of having a strategic system, it really helps to do some more goal setting. We have several years of data that really help to inform our benchmarks. And so the waste project really kind of came out of that. A couple of years ago, we did a waste audit. And so having a project really helps us address that and move that forward. So we have a baseline to start from. And now we know like how we can move forward and perform another audit, hopefully next spring if everything works out. And part of the reason why we wanted to look at waste is we are looking at ways that we can both do things that are going to move our environmental impact forward and also have a good economic impact. And waste was a good way to do that. So we saw waste as a way, if we can reduce missorts, it's not only going to move us further towards our goal that came about from that waste audit, but it's also going to save us some money. So kind of that, using the triple bottom line thinking there. And so it's been interesting because in the past few months, we are really just working our way through the plan there. We have milestones we want to achieve. And so myself and a team from our facilities folks, our communications folks, and also working a little bit with our retail management are working to just address those steps. And so right now we're in the midst of a pilot at one of our stores, and we're getting that off the ground where we're creating a whole color coding system for our receptacles. I recently worked with a couple folks to overhaul our training specific to waste, and actually just this week met with some of our managers about how we're going to establish accountability for our in-house practices. And so we're hoping all those things are going to combine to help create better performance. But like I said, one of the things we're doing is using a pilot at one location, which we're hoping is going to help identify what's worked well, where do we need to improve, and then once we kind of have those preliminary results, we're going to expand throughout our entire organization, and hopefully we're going to see some improvement. So the hope of this is, of course, that through this waste project and doing this kind of step-by-step approach that is really holistic and is looking to think about all the things from communication to training to just setting expectations, at the end of the day, when we perform our next waste audit, we're going to see improved results. We're going to see less wish cycling, less contamination, and hopefully fewer fees from missorting, but also ultimately a reduced impact on our waste stream.
Great. Yeah. Thank you for expanding on that, Ben.
Absolutely.
I want to echo that you did a waste audit, and that is a great way to establish that baseline data for your trash and find areas to improve. And you said you're doing a follow-up, which is the exact right thing to do, because that allows you to measure again and hopefully celebrate whatever progress you've made. So great. Emily from Emmi Roth, can you expand a little on what we heard in the video about your wastewater project at Emmi Roth? Like, why did you choose that to focus on?
Sure thing. So we actually have about 6 or 7 pillars in terms of sustainability that we're focusing on for 2021 through 2027. These are all disseminated through Emmi Group in Switzerland. And when we reviewed them, we realized that they were all very obtainable for us, which is exciting. It's wonderful to work for an organization that not only promotes, but requires that we do dairy the right way. We make sure that we're having the impact that we should on our own practices to ensure that these can be sustainable for the future. And so when we reviewed them, we saw wastewater, and frankly, that was something that we hadn't necessarily focused on in the past. So we thought, considering how involved these projects will be top down, from our executive team, to our supply chain, to our marketing team, to our sales team, to the plants, that we needed something to get everybody excited. And water was what we chose. And so we weren't tasked with starting that until 2021, but we decided to kick it off now. As I said, they were looking for 15%, and some other areas of our sister companies that are in California have to work on 50%. So grateful we're at 15. That's going to be quite challenging. So we, as I said in the video, we formed some teams throughout the plants, people who knew, those plants, every in and out, and said, how much water can you save this year in 2020? And we ended up hitting 9% in a single year, which doesn't actually count towards our 15% goal. And we did that because we wanted to show everybody internally how, when we work together toward these common goals, how obtainable they truly are and how supported they are, and to get them excited and to show them how this is a very fulfilling venture as well. So we'll most likely employ these same sorts of tactics moving forward with our other goals, but it's also giving our green team and me personally a lot of faith and motivation to go beyond. So we're looking at our other goals in terms of, we'll hit these, we'll achieve them, but where can we go beyond? Where can we become leaders in dairy? How can we, and as I said in the video too, the one thing that we learn working, in sustainability is that we truly have to work together. So how can we work together as an industry to elevate and quantify some of these results so that they're applicable to everyone? So we'll be working on our waste to landfill. We're working on getting all of our cheese into sustainable packaging. We're doing, work with employees and cutting our CO2. We're working through our supply chain to ensure that we're using, ethical manners of transportation. So the water project was really the catalyst for us. It was kicking off into these next 6 years of a lot of work we're going to be doing.
Nice. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, water is so important for food and agriculture. That industry needs so much of it. So it's great that you're addressing that. Moving on to Ashley and Select Specialty. How did you decide? We have a question from one of our listeners actually about how to decide between sustainability projects. And I think this applies well to you. How did you decide to focus specifically on the CUP initiative?
I think we had a couple of staff members that kept pushing the issue. Was really kind of how that came, to the top of list. That said, there's other sustainability initiatives going on at the same time. But like I said in the video, I felt like this was sort of the most tangible one to talk about, and the one that our staff got the most excited about. It was one that a lot of leadership, myself included, really didn't think would work. So we kept pushing it off. But finally, we got our group together, sat down and talked it through and realized, no, this is actually doable. I also saw a question in the Q&A about, how did the pandemic affect these initiatives? And it did affect this one because of the sanitation issue, of course. So we had to work through that a little bit, just make sure that everything we were doing ensured that we were keeping our patients and everybody safe. So we worked with our infection control nurse and then made a couple of tweaks to the plan just to make sure that we were taking extra precautions from a sanitation standpoint. So that was, it was a great project, and it's still going strong. And that 45,000 number, I wish I would have gotten a new number because I forget when our interview was, but it's probably 10 or 20,000 more cups since then. So yeah, it's really amazing how many cups we were going through. So we were really glad to be able to cut back on that.
Nice.
Eventually.
Yeah, and I know that it was an idea from a coworker, right? So initially, I think it was submitted through
we have this like a suggestion box sort of called a program called Ready, Set, Go, and somebody had submitted it that way. And like I said, we didn't act on it right away, and she kind of kept pushing it, and good for her because we ended up doing it and it worked. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Often the best ideas come from people that are the closest to the work. So they were probably seeing those cups every day and thinking about it. And it might surprise you who is thinking about sustainability at your org. They kind of tend to come out of the woodwork. So yeah. All right. So moving on to Nolan and Tribe 9 Foods. Nolan, I know you've got a lot going on at Tribe 9. Can you tell us a little bit more about your 2020 sustainability highlights and your goals to advance them in 2021?
Yeah, definitely. So at Tribe 9, we are a certified B Corporation. We became certified in 2018, which gave us a good framework of kind of how to design sustainability into our business. But we weren't doing a ton. And we didn't have very organized efforts around sustainability at our company. So when I joined the team, I joined because I was interested in and working for a B Corporation. But when I got there, I realized, we could be doing more. We're doing so many good things, but no one really even knows that we're doing them. So I think the Accelerate Sustainability workshops helped me to realize that we needed to have a more formalized team in place. And there was a lot of buy-in from our team to do so. So this summer we created a B team at our company, and this has just helped us to create a more organized effort around our sustainability initiatives. And then we've been able to use the framework of the B impact assessment that the B Corp community uses to look at the frameworks of environment, community, our employees and customers, and then see what we're already doing really well. So that's things like donating to local organizations. We've donated over 45,000 meals to local families this year alone. We're already at 75% renewable in 2020, and then we're going to be looking forward to becoming 100% renewable thanks to the O'Brien Solar Fields project. So yeah, it's using these frameworks to look at both what we're doing already and then what we can improve on moving forward, and creating that more collective, organized effort with our B team has been incredibly impactful and has helped move these initiatives along, and then communicate to our employees and get them more involved too. That's always what we're looking to improve upon, and finding more ways to get their ideas involved and see what they're passionate about.
Great to hear that. Yeah, you are also benefiting from the MG&E O'Brien Solar Fields project. As we heard in the video, Willy Street is also a part of that. So great to see that. And moving on to the Dane County Waste and Renewables, Roxanne or John, both of you or either of you can answer this. Sujata Gautam, one of your interns, participated in our workshop, and as a leader in your organization, I'm wondering what advice you have to support young people and bring them into sustainability.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, John. I think that you had a pretty nice answer to this one when we talked about it with Lorenza earlier.
Yeah, I think I think it's critical to bring in the young people and bring in new people in your organization for a number of reasons. They often see things through a very different lens, and they see the possible rather than being stuck in, oh, this is how we've always done, or here's why we can't do it. I think you heard a great example earlier about the styrofoam cups, right? There's a person that sees an issue and thinks this is possible. But more than that, I think too, it's critical with us as leaders in our organization to really lead, to bring in that next generation and encourage them. We have a number of interns at our site, and they definitely help us get work done, but we want to use that as an opportunity to encourage the next generation. And we always try to tell them, to not take no for an answer, and to, as they go on to their other organizations, continue to, push their management, question, kind of how things have always done in that steady state.
Nice, thank you. And do you want to share, before we move on to some questions from the audience, would you like to share more about your RNG project?
Sure, absolutely. So we run the Dane County landfill, and amongst a number of other things. But when garbage goes into the landfill, as most people here know, there are environmental impacts, and there's gas that is produced, biogas. So it's about 50 to 55% methane, and we are required to collect that and destruct it. A lot of landfills just flare that off. We see that as an energy source. So the gas that comes into your home to run your water heaters is about 95 to 98% methane. It's the exact same gas, just more pure. So we look at that as an energy source. The last couple of years, we switched over we were producing electricity with that gas. For a number of reasons, we switched over to a renewable natural gas plant. So we are taking our landfill gas and converting that into renewable vehicle fuel. We're cleaning up the gas, pulling out all those other things to get it to pure, nearly pure methane, putting that into the pipeline. And then we have a partnership with Quick Trip, and they are taking that gas, compressing it, and selling it at their CNG gas stations, compressed natural gas stations. To give you kind of an idea of volume, at the landfill, we're collecting about 1,800 cubic feet of gas every minute. And we are producing about, with Quick Trip, selling about 3 million gallons worth of renewable CNG every year.
Yeah, super exciting to have that locally. On to some listener questions. We have Kathy Kuntz writing, sometimes we are surprised by the colleagues who end up getting excited about sustainability efforts. And through your process this year, do any of you have any surprises that came up? Like some folks that you didn't think might be into sustainability, but were?
I can answer that. We had quite a few surprises, to be frank. I'll be very candid that in our cheese plants, it is incredibly hard work. You get up, and they actually have everyone that joins the company, from corporate office to whomever, go through a day of cheese making, and I can tell you it is most of my workouts are not that challenging. So what we saw were a lot of people getting involved in a way, and voluntarily, that we didn't expect. We didn't assign teams. We asked for volunteers. And we had particular people that I was very surprised that they wanted to be part of it. But I think the reasoning behind it was that it gave them true ownership, over and recognition for what they were doing, instead of going through the mishigas of a daily, flipping Havarti and throwing Grand Cru around. Like they were truly making a difference. And we made sure that they knew that. So that's what we're kind of using to drive future projects. But there were plenty of surprises for me.
Great. That's good to hear. Anyone else have any surprises that came up? No, okay, I'll move on to, we talked a little bit about this with Select Specialty, but if anyone wants to share their experience with how work shifted with the pandemic, the impact of the pandemic, specifically sustainability efforts, that's from Tom Thompson in our Q&A. Any challenges or opportunities that came up from the pandemic?
I can talk about that a little bit. So one thing that's been challenging for us is our volunteer efforts. That's something that's important to us at Tribe 9, and we do a lot with Second Harvest here in Madison, and like to do regular volunteer service with them. But we've been trying to prioritize the health and safety of our workers, so we've been really cut back completely on those efforts. So we've just been kind of trying to figure out ways we can still have an impact in enjoying the efforts of these organizations. So we've tried to increase just our financial and food donations overall, but also we're still thinking about and would love to hear ideas that other people have about how they're looking to expand their impact with people working from home and trying to watch out for the health and safety of their workers. So we've tried to do some things to improve, but we also would love to hear from other folks on what they're doing and how we can maybe include that into our efforts as well.
Anyone else have anything to add? How the pandemic impacted you? Roxanne or John, I saw you came off mute.
In so many ways, and this doesn't feed off of, Nolan's work from home topic so much, but we've had a lot of really tangible kind of impacts to our business. So we, as a 24/7 operation at the plant, with the need to bring a lot of vendors on site, the need to ship a lot of parts from overseas, with this kind of newer technology at the RNG plant, there's been some delays getting equipment, getting parts, and then just keeping people healthy to keep them there. I know Ashley will be able to relate to this, that people physically have to be on site, and it's a essential service. So just keeping everybody there in good spirits, and Ben too at the co-op, folks have to physically be there. So finding new ways to build morale and keep spirits up, and without being able to be physically connected to one another and do team meetings or team huddles presents a lot of challenges. But we just had a training today, not related to sustainability, but we still get together it's a little cold, but we met outside, you know, to be able to, and in smaller groups to be able to continue that on. So just finding ways to still get together and keep moving, because you got to keep moving, and keep the progress going, right?
Mm-hmm.
One other small example I would add to that too is a big part of what we do is education too, and showing the community and especially school children the things that we're doing at our site and what's possible. And we typically, last year we did 150 different tours at our site. And obviously that's not possible now. So Roxanne and Sujata, they've been amazing. They've created a lot of content online, virtual tours of our site and videos people and students can watch. We're working on lesson plans to go along with those. So just kind of shifting that focus to still be able to get that message out to people virtually.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, we've seen all sorts of changes, obviously, but there are some opportunities there, like you're saying. So great to see things working still. So we've got just a couple minutes left, about 3 minutes before I want to close out and get ready for the Live Forward Awards. But to close our session, do another question to the full group. Do you have any advice, quick words of advice that you'd like to give other orgs that are just starting out on their sustainability journey? Maybe.
I can talk.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley.
I think, you know, just you had mentioned earlier, you know, no project is too small. I think that's important to keep in mind. Taking it one project at a time, one day at a time. You know, even if it takes a little longer to roll out the project than you initially hoped, that doesn't mean it failed. You know, you just needed more time, and try to get people together to talk it through. Like I said, there's a small group of us that didn't think the cup initiative would work, and then we brought in more heads and we figured it out. So more people, more hands, many hands make less work, and more heads provide more ideas. So that would be my advice.
Great, thank you, Ashley. Anyone else want to close us out?
I would just say start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can is always the motto.
Nice, very, very succinct. Thank you, Nolan. With those words of wisdom from our panelists, I want to thank you all for joining me today, and all the 2020 workshop participants for all you do to move sustainability forward in our region. And if you're in the audience and you want to be a part of next year's group, reach out to me or check out our website and stay tuned. Today, in about 10 minutes, we will be hosting the Live Forward Awards just in a few minutes here. So help us celebrate those community leaders, and thanks for coming.
Thanks, Lorenza.
Thanks, Emily. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.